If I had a bullet for every time I see a bad review on Duke Nukem Forever, I'd had one bullet.
Duke Nukem has not aged well. He's an icon of gaming, the star of Duke Nukem 3D that helped shape the first-person shooter genre back in the mid-1990s.
And you're playing Duke Nukem Forever, which is a modern variant of Duke Nukem 3D. Also, he didn't shape the first-person shoots as in the 1990s. Wasn't that GoldenEye 007's job?
After a preposterously drawn-out development cycle, we see him return in Duke Nukem Forever, a game that feels dated, derivative, and at times embarrassing.
How is it embarrassing? Like I said, all it is just a modern variant of Duke Nukem 3D.
Can't decide if it wants to be a mindless, old-school shooter or a modern game that strives to be competitive in the current market.
Duke Nukem Forever basically contains the Duke Nukem 3D gameplay whilst having the graphics and puzzles of the modern games.
It tries to straddle over a decade of genre progress, and too often falls flat on its face.
Oh, I'm sorry, I've fallen asleep. Was that a joke?
That was fun. Was it good for you, baby?
The story is simple, as expected for a Duke Nukem game. Aliens are attacking, and Duke needs to kill them. As he kills, he'll spout one-liners ripped from movies and generally reinforce his narcissistic, sexist persona.
Come get some.
Okay, I can give you one thing. The story is simple for a Duke Nukem game, but that's the reason why I like it. As long as it's simple to that sort of game, it's bound to be enjoyable. Secondly of all, Duke Nukem is basically a parody of all action heroes who normally gets all the girls and that sort of stuff. That's what he is.
He feels like a relic, an ignorant personality that's remained shuttered in a basement while the rest of the industry moved on.
That's a lie!
Wrap it before you tap it.
That's who Duke is, but what's really disappointing is nothing creative was done with his stubborn refusal to grow up in a world that has. Instead, Duke is still an offensive child with no redeeming qualities, and for some reason we're supposed to love him for it.
Well, of course we're supposed to like it. You guys remember what Random DCE said, didn't you? I mean, he said the way that they did it is sticking true to the character's original design. I mean, it's simple as that.
Duke Nukem Forever looks old, which may not be surprising considering the development time. The environments that are meant to impress fall short because of the bland colors and a general lack of artistic flair.
Odd, I found the graphics to be absolutely fantastic. I mean, the colors are... I mean, it's all uncolourful. I mean, I saw dozens of colors that I haven't seen in much of the first-person shooters we have now.
A majority of the giant bosses and combat encounters are decently designed, but most are forgettable.
Are you kidding me, dude? I still remember that giant beast that you're showing right there, and also I still remember that queen with those that alien queen. You know, guys, the one with those 3 bazookas on her? Yeah, that one.
Finding guitar music will slide from your memory moments after you hear it, and the story, as meager as it is poorly told.
What did you expect? It's a Duke Nukem game.
It's down to you and me, you one-eyed freak.
Duke's staple personality may remain intact, but his play mechanics differ. He's got a regenerating health bar in Forever, and can only carry 2 weapons, mechanics pulled from the games he takes so much pleasure in dismissing. Duke gets shotguns, rocket launchers, and freeze rays, which aside from the shotgun, lack any real punch or sense of impact.
Okay, for starters, since you can carry only 2 guns, the designers were trying to make it a little bit more realistic. I mean, can you really hold 9 guns at once? No, you can't. Also, certain weapons in Duke Nukem Forever can work best on other enemies.
The on-foot fighting sections in Duke Nukem Forever are decent entertainment as you aim and shoot at pigs and teleporting jetpack soldiers and circle strafe around giant boss monsters. What's irritating is just about everything else. There's a lot of filler content in Duke Nukem Forever story mode, from poor imitations of Half-Life 2 physics puzzles to dull, unnecessarily long platforming sequences that do nothing but frustrate.
Okay, for starters, Duke Nukem has always had those physics puzzles, even before Half-Life. I mean, you guys do remember Duke Nukem Operation Manhattan. I think that's the game's name. And also, Duke Nukem has always had platforming segments in his games.
An over-reliance on stationary turret sequences and some poorly implemented underwater sections certainly don't help matters, making the experience feel clumsily patched together.
You do realize that this was in Duke Nukem 3D, do you?
Once the single player is over, Forever includes a multiplayer mode where you'll take part in standard deathmatch, capture the flag, and king of the hill modes. Thanks to more classic online shooter design like jump pads and weapon spawn points, it's without the identity crisis of the single player mode, and can be chaotic fun with crazy weapons. As might be expected, there's a persistent leveling structure that lets you unlock silly stuff, as well as items to take a look at in Duke's explorable penthouse.
I'll give him that. The multiplayer is pretty much chaotic and can be a lot of fun with friends.
Duke! They're gonna eat us!
Thanks to the protracted development cycle of Duke Nukem Forever, he's achieved a legendary status he doesn't necessarily deserve. Forever is not a renaissance of old-school shooter design or a middle finger aimed at an evolving industry. It's a dusty, muddled experience with some decent shooting sections and a lot of poorly designed filler. Forever may be good for a brief nostalgic rush, but there's little else worthy of praise about Duke's tangled, awkward return.
Oh, there it goes, there it goes. God damn it. Since he's saying the game is old, it's bad, and it should be a little bit like some of the modern games like Call of Duty and Halo. Oh boy. It's because of guys like these that makes me be ashamed to be a fan of Call of Duty and Halo. I'm just sick of people trying to compare games like Duke Nukem to Call of Duty, all because of their different gameplay styles. Fuck you, dude. Tactical nuke ready. Turn the key.
For more on Duke Nukem Forever, head over to IGN.com.
No need for me to go over to IGN.com because Mr. Diablo Lord said you gave it a 3.5 out of 10 during your written review. Yet it says there, 5.5 out of 10. I'm turning the key. Also, I think Mr. Diablo Lord put it best.
3 out of 10? I give it an 8.5 out of 10, you losers!
I am Oliver88 Reality, and I'm gonna bid you all a good night.